The World Cup in Qatar is just a few days to begin, and the Qataris are having it seriously. In fact, the whole world is now saying that Qatar is not doing well at all when it comes to the migrant issue. That Qatar brought in a lot of migrants to build Qatar, but Qatar hasn't treated them well. And if you are a regular viewer of this channel, you may have came across a few videos about Qatar. I believe if I see something that is not going on right, I should say something. So I have added my voice to the call of the migrant workers. So there's this article that I want to share with you guys. The headline reads, Qatar faced unprecedented criticism over hosting World Cup. Emir says, Qatar has faced unprecedented criticism since winning the bid to host the 2022 World Cup, some of which amounted to slander. Its ruler said on Tuesday, we initially dealt with the matter in good faith because we thought that some of the earlier criticism was constructive, but a campaign against Qatar expanded to include fabrications and double standards that were so ferocious that it has unfortunately prompted many people to question the real reason and motives behind the campaign. So what he is saying here is that initially, when people complained about the way Qatar treats its migrant workers, the Qataris thought, well, this was something we should look into it, that they felt like this was a legitimate complaint or critique, and maybe something was really going wrong and that they could fix it. But recently, they have realized that people just want to come against them, that people just simply want to go against them, want to campaign against the World Cup in Qatar, want to create confusion, and now they are fabricating all sorts of stories. So, let's continue. Qatar, the first Middle Eastern country to host the World Cup, has come under intense international critique for its treatment of foreign workers and restrictive social laws. The Emir was addressing a session of the Gulf Arab States Advisory Council as Doha gears up to host soccer's main global event, which kicks off on November 20. Qatar expects 1.2 million visitors during the tournament, creating an unprecedented logistics and policing challenge for the tiny Gulf Arab state. Qatar is expecting 1.2 million visitors during the World Cup in their country. And so they have done a lot to make sure that everything moves smoothly or everything goes smoothly. They have beefed up security. They have built a lot of structures that will accommodate all those who are coming for the World Cup. And the Qatar Emir has even said that everyone, irrespective of your gender, sexual orientation, beliefs, or nationality, is welcome to come to Qatar and have a nice time. So let's continue with the article. We accepted this challenge out of our faith in our potential with the Qataris to tackle the mission and make it a success. It is a championship for all, and its success is success for all. Doha has introduced reforms, including rules to protect workers from heat and a monthly minimum wage of 1,000 riyals. That is about 275 USD, and says it continues to develop its labor system. The Emir is saying that Qatar has done a lot of things to improve the working situation of migrant workers. Remember, this has always been an issue in Qatar. They have a record of treating the migrant workers like second-class citizens. I'm just going to say it. The working situation in Qatar is deplorable. Qatar brings in less privileged people from poor countries in Africa and in East Asia to come and work in Qatar because they know that those people do not have a strong voice. They cannot even demand anything. So when they come to Qatar, Qatar gets to treat them the way Qatar likes. They get to work under unfavorable conditions for mega salaries. They work lengthy hours. Hours that the Qataris themselves cannot do it. And this is the thing that really gets me angry. I know in the comment section, most people have pointed out that the migrants went there to work. If they left their country to Qatar to work, they should expect anything. If they were not willing to take whatever they get or to work under these harsh conditions, they shouldn't have gone to Qatar. Which I have said is a fair argument, fair point. But I have also mentioned that the fact that you are more privileged than the other person doesn't give you the right to treat the person as nobody. The fact that someone left his or her country to come and work in your country doesn't mean that you cannot have sympathy for him or her. The fact that I am your employee and I work for you doesn't mean that you would treat me or take everything for granted. The fact that I am a foreigner or I am an employee in your country and maybe I work for you doesn't mean that you are going to take me for granted. You must have a conscience to treat people with dignity and respect. That is the least thing you could do. So all this talking that Qatar is saying, they've done this, they've done that, they've done this, they've done that, they are just making noise. Because believe me, my brothers and sisters, if no one said anything, okay, let's say for example, let's say for the sake of argument, they've done something. They've changed a few laws. They now have regulations in place to protect migrant workers. Do you know why all this came to be? Do you know why? Because people said something. People saw what was going on and realized that no, this cannot be going on in the 21st century. And they said something. And that is why the authorities in Qatar decided to look into the matter and try to change something. And bear in mind, my brothers and sisters, they did not do this with the goodness of their heart. They didn't just wake up one morning and like, oh my God, look at those migrant workers. They are really suffering. Let's do something to help them. No, that's not what happened. They were forced to do it. People actually forced their hands into doing it. They didn't just do it from the goodness of their heart. They did not. So, those of you in the comment section, or those of you who believe that when someone is working for you, or when someone moves into your country, then you have the right to treat the person as nobody, as an animal. Bear in mind that it's not fair. Bear in mind that that is a very, very bad thing for you to do. So, Let's continue with the article. Foreign workers account for 85% of the some 3 million population of Qatar, which is among the world's top natural gas producers and one of the wealthiest nations per capita. Emir said higher energy prices had helped Qatar realize government budget surplus of 47 billion riyals, about $12.8 billion for the first half of 2022 versus a project deficit and gross domestic product growth of 4.3 according to initial estimate. The budget surplus will be directed to reducing the level of public debt and increasing the state's financial reserves, he said. The World Cup would allow Qatar to showcase its economic and institutional strength and cultural diversity, he said. So the World Cup is going to help put Qatar on the international scene, because it's a very big event. And Qatar is more than happy to host the event because Qatar knows what it's going to benefit from the event. But my brothers and sisters, I will just say this again. Please, those of you from and in Africa, I'm talking directly to you guys. Traveling for greener pasture to some Arab countries is not the best decision you could possibly make. And I know some people living in those Arab countries who are Africans are making it, are living happily, are enjoying. But majority of migrant workers in Qatar are suffering. It's not just me saying it. It's all over the internet. There are hundreds or maybe thousands of people who have shared their experiences when they live in Qatar or are still living in Qatar. So before you travel to Qatar, do some research. There are hundreds or maybe thousands of articles and videos about Qatar. I do believe after going through some of these videos and articles, you might have a change of mind. But to you guys out there, what do you think about what the Emir of Qatar said? Are the complaint and critique legitimate, or people are just out there trying to sabotage Qatar? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. And if you have lived in Qatar before, or you have a friend who has lived in Qatar or who is living in Qatar, please connect us with the friend. We would like to have an interview so that we can get to understand his own story or his own experience. So if you have lived in Qatar, please leave us a comment and tell us how we can get in contact with you. Or if you have a friend or a relative or a neighbor who has lived in Qatar or who is living in Qatar, please connect us with the person. We shall be very, very grateful. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to this channel. These little things helps the channel a lot, and we shall forever be grateful to you. Thank you very much, and see you in the next one.